Hi, welcome to Observations.
Hi, welcome to Observations. I'm host John Walsh. Joining me today are very good friends, Don York and Paul Summa from Palm Coast Ford, and thought I'd invite you guys in for a conversation about what's happening in your business with some of the changes from COVID and some of the other shortages, workforce and parts and so forth. So welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Great. I wanted to start with a little bit of history about Palm Coast Ford. You guys came to town as Palm Coast Ford in 2010, is that right?
2008.
2008?
Yes.
Okay. And were you guys previously working together somewhere else?
Yeah, Daytona Toyota.
Oh, great. And
Yep.
so you came together at the same time, or you came first, Don? Or?
I came a little bit before Don up here. I came up here in June of '08.
Oh, great.
So
And how about duration in the car business? How long have you guys been doing this?
I've been doing it 27 years, 25 years with the owner we're with right now.
Since 95, you do the math.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about your involvement in the community. And when I think of community partners, there's a lot of wannabes, but you guys are truly an example for most businesses, the way that you partner with the community. Why is that important to you?
If you don't take care of the community, they're not going to take care of you. It's business doing business with businesses. So, it's important. And a lot of these events and communities and things are people needing help.
Yeah.
And they're great events. It's a great community.
Out of all of the, can you name a couple of your favorite charities here locally and why you've associated with them?
So the hospital would be one. Camp Boggy Creek down in Ormond.
That's a great organization.
Yep.
Take care of kids with cancer.
Flagler Education Foundation is a great one that we've been partnering with for a long time.
Yep.
The Lions Club. I mean, we're out there with
Little League Baseball.
Yep.
Scouting.
VFW.
Sheriff's Department.
The Sheriff's Department's new with us too. Yeah.
Veterans organizations and group. We got Veterans Day coming up around the corner. That's great. I hate to put you on the spot, but willing to share about your annual budget for community partnerships?
I don't know if I have an annual budget.
It's just
when as they come, we
do the best you can.
Yeah,
Right.
I think so. I think that's the right
Appreciate
way to put
that.
it.
Good. So business today, a lot of things have changed since COVID and some of the other things that I just mentioned about workforce shortages and part shortages and that sort of stuff. Tell me a little bit about your business with, let's start with, most of the businesses in our community employ 5 or fewer employees. Okay. What's your employee count?
So we run anywheres from 80 to 90, so about 85 right now currently.
And you have spots open?
We do, yeah.
Where?
We're in need for technicians most of all. We've been very fortunate. It's more of a family than it is a business with us. So we've kept all the personnel pretty much through COVID and everything else. But there's some key spots that are just open as far as a diesel technician, transmission technician, and things like that.
Okay, great.
And you don't need experience. We can start you off in the quick lane. A lot of our technicians that are in the main shop started with us.
So a lot of when we look at our workforce in the area, it's sort of the same. It's the people that move here for quality of life. So they're retired, semi-retired. Good opportunities for people like that.
Sure, absolutely.
In just about anywhere in the dealership.
Yeah. Sales, out in the service lane, service advisor,
Drivers.
And I know that the manufacturer provide all sorts of training programs and that sort of stuff. So if somebody comes in and says, I don't have experience, but I really want to try this.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, we have training pay for almost every position.
Like he said, we start you out in a quick lane, and the next thing you know, you could be in the main shop doing, engines, transmissions, any of that.
How about sales? We're running a couple of spots in our company right now, and I don't know if you're going through this or not, but there seems to be a pretty wide gap of the skill set I'm looking for and the people that are applying. And that's a real challenge because I don't have the support of a factory with all of the training programs and that sort of stuff. that's not as much of a challenge for you?
We've kept our sales floor, and the one thing I've never done is flood the floor. So I know we're on certain months we're gonna sell certain amount of vehicles, and there's only some certain amount of salespeople. And if you add too many salespeople, what happens is you lose the good ones. Like the guys that we have they're willing to work. Like
So it's a performance-based compensation plan. It's not commission anymore, right?
correct.
And so to make it equitable for everybody that's on the team, if you have too many guys chipping away at it, nobody can make a decent opportunity. That's what you're saying? Yeah. That's probably why they are loyal, because that goes both ways.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Sure. I was driving to the office the other morning, and alongside me, I looked over and saw a Palm Coast Ford mobile service van. That's a new feature.
It is. Yep.
How'd that come about?
Ford started this program about a year and a half ago, and I was slow to get on board with it, but we're remodeling the whole showroom. So I said, here's an opportunity. If I can't add another lift right now, we can add a lift mobily. And it's able to do recalls, and like any maintenance item is able to be done through that mobile servicing.
So let me walk through that. So to add more capacity in your service department, you have to add footprint, building, brick and mortar.
Correct.
And then the equipment and
Yeah.
so forth. So an alternative, again, is it a result of COVID that this is a better service for the customer, bringing it to them? And
If anything happened that was, out of COVID for the auto industry, it was able to take the dealership to the customer, the whole experience,
and
right
it's
from the get-go.
and not just in service,
Not
right?
just in service, sales also. Like we can sign you up right through
Right through your phone.
Right through your phone. You can sign the contract. You can do everything. You don't even have to see us. We can drop the keys off right at your door. Like there's some steps to take for security to make sure you are who you say you are. But
You can do everything online.
it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible.
Wow. Didn't see that coming, right, in this industry, brick and mortar. So do you think that's going to change the landscape of auto dealerships? Are they going to be smaller, or just?
No, I don't know. The big companies, they're able to do the same thing. It's the new brand is Your Ford Your Way. That is the new.
Your Ford, your way. What does that mean?
Okay, so
I'm in the market for a car. I'm
Yep.
going to come. Typically, the transaction was I come to your lot, I walk around, I find the one I like, and we talk about it.
correct. Now it's not. Now it's going to be
Inventory's a little short.
inventory's a little short. We're going to ask you to order your Ford. Be patient for about 60 days, and we should be able to obtain it depending on which model it is.
So 60 days is not very long to order a brand new vehicle.
We can lock in your trade-in, and Ford will even lock in today's current incentives. And if they get better, you can take whichever one is better for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Incredible. So the touchless transaction, so to say, is that what you guys are calling it? I mean, so I can go online, pick out the vehicle I want. You'll bring it to me for a test drive,
sure, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
and then the rest of the transaction is all online.
You'll see everything. Our salespeople are trained to do videos of the car, do a complete walk around, show the customer what they're actually looking at online versus just a still picture. They'll get a video. A lot of interaction is going to happen between the customer and the salesperson at the same time. And we've embraced after COVID, we've embraced the new model of doing business at the customer's house, doing everything right online.
That's crazy. That's
Never
a
would have
big
thought of
difference.
that.
No, really, that big change.
And if you don't embrace it, I mean, you're a dinosaur.
Sure.
It's a better way. It just is. It's better for the consumer.
Okay, so we just mentioned it briefly, but inventory. So if you're low on inventory now and the push is order, is this the new level of inventory?
We're going to see a little bit of an increase. I mean, it's about a 45-day supply max versus a 90-day. So
Wow.
the trend was always 90-day supply, meaning whatever you're going to sell over the next 3 months, that's how many new cars you need on ground. It's going to be more like 20 to 30. Beginning of the year, they're going to get it to a 45-day max supply. 60% of new vehicles are going to be ordered units. 40% will be the traditional way, and that's going to change rapidly over the next course of 2 years. It will probably be like 80-20, and then eventually it's really
80% custom order.
yeah, 80%.
And before COVID, what was the custom order rate?
Oh, I don't
A handful,
maybe,
right?
yeah,
Just
maybe
once in a while?
5%.
Yeah, less than 5, easily less than
And
5.
so, does this make it easier for you to do business, or
I think so.
easier?
Yeah, I
right?
think so. Yeah, I mean, if you can.
What happens to my trade value that I tell you, you appraise my vehicle today, but in 2 months, is it going to hold that value, or how does that work if I have a trade-in?
If you don't wreck it, if you drive it the way you do, probably not. But like the normal customer,
Normal.
it will probably lock in. There's no more what they call stealing trades anymore either. Like with CarMax and all these trade-in tools online, like you just have
Very
to
transparent,
offer.
isn't it?
Yeah, you just offer them a fair deal, a good deal, and it's fair for us. They get the tax credit. You get a pre-owned vehicle that you can hopefully try to retail or wholesale it, but you take care of the whole transaction for the customer.
Wow.
It's seamless.
And it used to be, the shell game where
Yeah, it's not. When people say, "Give me your best price up front," be prepared for that because that's what we're gonna do.
There's too much information out there for us to play games with people, and we're not that
And you
store
look
anyway.
right, and you look silly doing
Absolutely,
You do.
absolutely.
Yeah,
it. It's
you do.
a short-term gain.
It is.
Absolutely.
No, that's why our customers, we have a very loyal customer base. I would say we have a lot of people moving into the area, so this is going to hopefully change. Hopefully we'll gain a lot of new, but I would say 85% of our sales comes from previous customers.
That's
Or
pretty
it's
good
probably 90% if you want to add referrals.
sure.
So
Wow, that's cool. We had a visit a couple of days ago, a week ago, when I was at the dealership, and you were recently visited by some rental car companies. What's happening in that world?
well, the rental car companies are hurting for inventory. So they've come out to us asking us to either sell them new or even sell them our pre-owned, as long as it's a 2020 or newer with lower miles, because they're not getting inventory from the manufacturer. The manufacturer is going to support this your Ford, your way. They're going to support these custom orders. They're going to get them into the customer hands before they get them into these rental car companies. And that's a big difference in how it used to be.
Right, it was hundreds of thousands of vehicles by the rental car companies to keep the factories open.
Yeah, before it was all commercial. If it's a commercial, now it's not. It doesn't matter. Now it's like the individual. You're getting your car before anybody else.
So you said your Ford, your way. Historically, in the automotive industry, the manufacturers were interested in, I'm going to say 2 things: overall volume and market share. Is that still the focus?
It's my focus, but market share is important.
Always.
You want to keep your zip code. You want to keep your customer base. But no, I don't. They've really not put emphasis on market share. It's more of customer experience. I mean, the things that are tied into the dealership are more customer experience than they are market share at this point.
And so there's a customer satisfaction that they measure you guys with all the time, right?
All the time.
The customer that visits your dealership for purchase is going to get a factory survey. They come in for service, oil change, whatever.
Even if it's a non-Ford, they're getting a survey.
Wow. And they use that to help you deliver a better product.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Take care of the customer, and everything should flow from there.
Great. We're going to take a break real quick, come back with Don York, Paul Summa, talk a little bit more about what's new in the automotive industry.
Better than DoorDash? We deliver cash. That's right, we deliver cash right to your front door. Contact Palm Coast Ford and see how much cash we can deliver to you. We'll pay off your trade and you pocket the difference. Visit palmcoastford.com today.
Welcome back to Observations. I'm host John Walsh with Don York and Paul Summa from Palm Coast Ford. Great friends, great advertisers, and a great local business supporting our community. We were talking a little bit about the environment of the car business today. So there's all sorts of stories about now is the best time to do business because of the value of the trade.
I'll let him handle that one.
Absolutely. You can go to an auction, you can buy whatever you want, but with the shortage nationwide, you're paying. You don't know what you're bidding for. You're bidding for a car that everybody else online's bidding for, versus someone that walks right through your dealership that has a trade that that you can use on used car lot. You're going to put more money in that than you would years ago.
Okay, so back up a little bit. I was in the car business. It's been a few days at this point, but used to be able to log online at the auction, watch the inventory go through.
You had a computer back then?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
And you would bid on these cars, right?
Yeah, but right now inventory's so low.
So
if there's 80 cars going through and you have 360 people bidding, plus the people that are in the auction lane bidding.
Absolutely.
Like, all it is the last one with their hand raised wins, and no one wins at that point.
Unless your finger gets tired from clicking on how many times you're going to bid on that
It's
car.
happened.
Right.
And so I guess the fleet companies are there.
Oh, everybody. CarMax,
Fighting for it.
Carvana, Enterprise, Hertz, everybody's there bidding.
So we talked a little bit about the trade-in values and the transparency today. You just mentioned Carvana, and I guess there's a dozen of them out there that are in the business of no dealership, no showroom transactions, right?
They're in the business of selling.
Not
They're not
serving.
in the business of servicing.
Johnny, you go to a kiosk to buy your belt, buddy. You don't go to a kiosk to buy a car.
Right.
Okay, candy
The
bar.
vending machine,
Right.
is that right?
Yeah, sure.
If you shake it hard enough, you think
Yeah.
one will drop?
Yeah,
That's-
sure.
Okay, great. So the trade-in values, give me an example.
Well, I mean, let's say you got a Fusion that's coming in, a 2019 Fusion, where you bought it for 25 grand, where you got 20 to 30,000 miles on it. The car's worth 19, 20 grand right now. 2-3 years later, that's the kind of values that they're getting. Trucks, forget it. I mean, it's your truck is worth more money now than
So
it's
I'll
ever.
give you more of a personal, okay?
Sure.
So people understand. We just looked at a deal earlier today. The guy's trading in a truck. We sold it to him 2 years ago for, let's say, an arbitrary number of $27,000. He put on 40,000 miles. The book now says it's worth $29,000.
More than he paid
More than he
years ago
paid
with
2 years
40,000.
ago with
Less than-
40,000.
yeah,
with
40,000.
40,000 more miles. So people, like, this is a real thing. I hear my other sales manager tell customers all the time, this is a real thing. Take advantage of it. Because when the merry-go-round stops, and no one knows when that's going to be, but like,
And on the new side, those prices are not regulated, but they're more controlled, right?
yeah,
they're not.
Yeah, the
they-
MSRP is MSRP. It's
They,
not.
so they set the pricing, right? And just because there's a shortage, they're not jacking up the prices or whatever. Your margins remain the same. It's, this is what you pay for the vehicle.
So if
It's
you're
got the
ordering
window
a
sticker
vehicle,
on it.
you're Ford your way, and your trade's worth the most it's ever been, like, I don't, it's a no-lose situation for the consumer right now.
So even though there are challenges for inventory, is your business suffered, or is it about the same as COVID? Before COVID, is it?
I looked at this earlier at the end of each month.
Mm-hmm.
So volume-wise, year over year, we're down 3 vehicles transactions
This year versus
per month. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you take
per
so
19?
about 30 cars. We're off 30 cars.
a year.
Yeah.
Is new volume increased?
New volumes decreased because of the restraints. Used volumes increased.
That's what I meant to ask.
Yeah.
Used volume has increased.
Quite a bit.
But if it's a good time to sell you my trade, is it a good time to buy a used, or are they all going new? Or what's available?
So
Tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. It depends on how old your vehicle is. So if you're trading in a 15 and you want to upgrade to an 18, it's not that big of a, because you're getting all your money on your trade-in.
Okay. So
So-
it carries through. Right.
It's like selling your house, buying a house right now. I mean, you have to determine, is now the good time?
Right. So factories were heavy in the incentive business. Does that remain the same? 0% financing, rebates, year ends.
Let me chime in on
Because
that.
I knew he was going to bring up a specific one because we just talked about it.
0% is huge on all new. I got interest rates as low as 0.99 on a certified pre-owned car. So
Non-factory.
non-factory. But you can get, financing right now is, interest rates are at an all-time low, I would say, because I've seen, through this whole thing, people are like, oh, I got to buy. You're paying 13, 14% where you come in and see us. Even if you step up 3 or 4 years on a car, you're lowering your interest rate almost 6, 7%. So yeah, now's a great time to do that.
I thought you were going to bring up the gentleman that had a $4,000 certificate
And 0%.
and 0%.
What's that?
He had a certificate because he's.
How do I get one of those?
Well, you got to hold your car more than 7 months. But if you've been with Ford for a while, they throw certificates to customers. We look up your name, and this guy just happened to have $4,000. He got 0% on a brand new truck and
All the money for the trade.
lowered his
more than he
payment.
paid for. Oh,
lowered
my
his
word.
lowered his
payment,
payment.
got into a new vehicle.
What are we doing here? We got to get back to the deal. Oh, I don't even have to go to the dealership
I
to
just
do this.
when you come in, I just change your plate out when it's time.
I know. Sign here. There used to be a big difference between owning and leasing. Is leasing a thing these days?
Not much with Ford. There's still some manufacturers out there that are pushing the leases, but with 0% and everything going on, they do have some lease programs, but it's not as aggressive as it used to be.
Just trying to see where does all of this go? So you guys are going into the custom order, wait 45, 60 days, vehicle shows up, exactly your color, exactly your options, exactly the way you want it. You've given me all the incentives up front. It can only get better. You're giving me more for my trade. Why are you guys here?
You asked us.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
It,
So you're going to see on TV, because we just cut the commercial the other day, it's your Ford, your way. It's 60 days or less guaranteed or your money back.
wow.
So on most vehicles, there are some restraints, like the Bronco. If you want a Bronco these days, that's going to be a tough one. The Mach-E, all-electric Mustang, the all-electric new F-150, the Maverick, things like that are going to be tough. But an F-150, Ranger, Explorer, Mustang, those are all
SUVs.
6 days or less.
Escape.
Your money back guaranteed. Or if you want to hang in there, if for some reason it doesn't show up, I'll take more money off the price for you to just hang in there. But
Right.
you're not going to lose value on your trade. You're not going to lose the incentive. You're not going to lose anything. It's the year end. So this is the most incentives and things people are going to get.
So it's almost, I'm going to say your biggest challenge is educating the consumer,
I would think that that's hopefully what we're doing.
right? It's different. The
It
way
is.
you guys are doing business
know,
today
you-
is different.
These people are going to multiple dealerships, doing multiple things online. There's no two dealers the same. If you want to try something different, you want to try a great experience, you got to try us. It's a whole different ball game right now, and it's kind of awesome.
Well, I've been doing business with you guys since day one, right?
It's all about relationships.
Absolutely is.
We knew you when you had darker hair now.
Yeah, I have, and more of it. All good. Anything you guys want to add at this point? Anything? Busy time of year. You got holiday. Got the holidays covered.
No payments till 2020. It's 2022, and there's just a great time right now. Now's a great time before the year end comes. To really place your order or get what we have. So
Awesome.
it's dynamite.
Again, Don York, Paul Summa, thanks for joining us. Observations, John Walsh. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.